Episode 7 time here. We're back. Big Old Belt Media, Nigerian Lucas, and we're here to, as per usual, our review recap of Power Book 2, Season 2 of Ghost. And this one's Forced Hand. This episode was kind of nuts. We got a lot of things here. We got Tamika back. We got Yaz. The Kevin Whitman is back. We got some black facing going on. The Mecca and Larizzo meeting. Zeke finds out his truth. Is he taking it well? And did Drew try to kill his boyfriend? What is happening? We got a lot to talk about tonight. And I will say, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but the theme of this episode, whether you know it or not, is about being a product of decisions made by others. And they really shoved that down. Like I typically never watch an episode twice in terms of this mental prep, but I was very tempted to want to watch this one again because this theme was so heavy in this episode. I was like, maybe there's something more I may possibly be missing. But hey, if I miss it, I figure you all would just tell me in the comments because you all always do. So it is what it is.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Sure. Even though I don't think it's something in this episode as it pertains to, I think it's going to be something down the line more in the future of decisions being made for people without their input. I think if you just pay attention to the way it's set up, it is clearly set up for something big later on this season of a decision being made for someone and them having no input on it.
Any predictions?
Oh man, you trying to put me in every power thread humanly possible.
They love predictions, and folks in the comments, let us know what you think he may be hinting at here.
It may be something with Lorenzo and a decision being made for him that he had no input on. Let's just say, clearly it's way more to Mecca's plan that, not only did he decide to give all his product to Lorenzo, but technically, he just supplied Lorenzo's army. So, in essence, who does Lorenzo work for?
Yeah, Mecca. But
you can't be a boss if someone else is controlling everything and every move you can make.
That's true. Not to mention, I mean, even the easy route here, if he's trying to eliminate Lorenzo without actually doing it in a fatal way, he basically just equipped this man for probable cause for every single reason that he already went to jail for. So
and he screwed Nene over. Clearly, he did that purposely. He did that like, no, you have all my product now.
I loved it.
After you just made fun of him after he showed Zeke his tattoo to let him know what the deal was.
Jeez, yeah, he was definitely 16 when he got that tattoo. And whoever had to just draw that on him for this, I commend you for saying, so who has a kid here who has a little bit of artistic skill? Let's let them go at this.
It still needs to look like a shitty tattoo. Because clearly you ain't getting no master ink work done at 16.
Yo, I swear to God, I thought he was going to have an N1 tattoo there. I was going to die if it was the N1 logo.
Damn it, if he'd have had an N1 tattoo there. See, this is why you're meant to play basketball. It's bad enough he came up with 1 foot. What do you say? 1 foot, a half size bigger than another?
Yeah.
It runs that way in our family. Like, what?
That was pretty cool. I've heard that before about that being hereditary. I mean, it's not a very common thing, but like, I thought that was a cool way of them doing. That was definitely somebody's personal like input on that. Like,
definitely,
that's some very creative. Yeah, very creative. Like, I got an idea thing. By the way, before we go into tonight's episode, let's talk about Tariq. He's 3 for 3. Of the last 3 episodes, he got all 3 of his girls.
Busting them down, man.
Yeah. I like how when Tariq is like in the midst of things, he just gets back in this cool collective mode and brings them in. So we'll definitely talk about it.
I just need to make sure you're comfortable with this.
Because he got the consent, and then he immediately said, "But don't tell your mom." Oh man, but let's get into tonight's episode here. So we start off with Lorenzo and Drew making a move here. Drew catching a body early. And this is all about the territory thing that they wanted to do with what was the dude name? Kano. Yeah, Kano.
Yep.
And basically a lesson that we always talk about: no loose ends. Can't wait to bring that back up later, because Larizzo get it, Drew gets it. Drew was about to do the ultimate sacrifice decision, whatever it may be, however you want to look at it, in order to keep the
family, keep the family together.
That's right.
And as I said, we're gonna get into it later, how the dummy of the family just don't get it.
Yeah,
shit just does not click properly for him.
That's right. And then we have a short episode of Mob Wives taken on, where Evelyn decides to pay Monet a visit at their bar because everyone knows where it's at, apparently. And she hadn't seen this person in a while, but I think, at least for me, the only thing that really stuck out to me in that conversation, besides them having sort of parallel lives, is like, tell Lorenzo to be careful. That sounds like a threat to me.
Hey, don't sound like a threat. That is a clear threat.
And we still got this Mahoney group floating around, and
they are doing a great job of hiding the other people that will be playing a pivotal role. I think, if not this season, but definitely next season, an extremely pivotal role moving forward for them. They're doing a great job at hiding them people so you don't see them yet.
And I think it makes sense. I mean, we already got a season 3, so
we already know it's coming.
Yeah. So keep that on tap. Just like the same thing with Sweetney, gave us now 2 episodes of stuff with him, but we don't need a lot because that's future storytelling. So the Mahoney group could not just be a G2G type of group. They actually could be, they're a threat to Mecca, so they are a big deal.
I'm about to say,
so
no one's a G2G. That was a horrible group. That was a horrible group.
Social media thugs. That's why they were.
Exactly.
So when Tariq had the chance to give up Kane, he didn't, because street code. Enough said there. Tariq is smart in this situation, and it was good to see him really assess his situation, that he knew that while Kane might have been the easy way, it could have been an easy answer, it really wasn't a good decision for numerous reasons. For sure.
Do you think it was street code? I don't think it had anything to do with street code.
I mean, I think he knows enough because of seeing what his dad has done in the past.
Yeah.
I think he knows exactly how to avoid being his dad. So,
but because if he was to snitch on Kane, I think it would blow back on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, I'm not snitching, no. But I think if it was a way to snitch on Kane and it not blow back on him, he would gladly do it.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see how this plays out. But yes, it is true. And what David said later in the episode, like, help me protect Tariq, help you. Yep. It is something that we haven't really said much, but we said by what Kane is doing to Tariq falls back on him, but we never thought about how Kane is just another knock on the board of him just being an idiot. But I think we should start to focus on what Tariq actions and how does that affect Kane, and then vice versa. But it's a little bit different here because Tariq has a legal system trying to help him, and Kane is just out here just doing all sorts of different things by himself that are leading him to nowhere but his own demise. But we'll see. Now, we do now start to hear this, as I said in the beginning episode, what in this Weston book could take Sweetney down? Did you have any guess? What did you think? I mean, I think a lot of people have been saying it was going to be some Cosbyan. Cosby's free. We can't use that joke no more.
You cannot. Right. You cannot. Weinsteinian.
Giselle, yeah. Giselleing out here.
Exactly. Yeah. But you know what? It was kind of weird when they went with blackface, because I'm thinking in my head, and I know I may be overthinking it, right? But all I'm thinking in my head was, there is currently a governor of a state who we caught with blackface, and black people still support him. Like
Virginia, right?
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Like, is that something that can really hurt you that much? Like,
well, but see, that's what makes it interesting, because I'm glad you brought that up, because it isn't a definitive kill shot.
Yeah.
Now we almost got the conflict of that series, which they did not say influence at all this season, but it does seem like Tate now has motive to run, because no one believes he's going to run again, because as we heard from Robert, that he said like, oh, well, you found a different way to serve the public and being a professor. So now that you're not going to run again, because that's the consensus here,
Mm-hmm.
now he's thinking like, oh, I got away because I got something on him. But that definitely doesn't cash his ticket in. So
that does not at all.
So
like, I mean, especially with someone with their own skeletons, like that's not necessarily, you need a kill. You need an underage girl. You need something of that nature that people gonna be like, you know what, we can't let that go. But a little blackface and a little party, you know what? And he was dressed up as OJ. Like, who doesn't love OJ?
I just gotta say the writer for this episode wrote episode 2, Monica Mitchell, and this is again a very fantastic episode with a lot of things intertwining, much like how I felt with episode 2. So really buying into this, and I think that like you have to kind of tip your hat off to somebody like Monica, because not only are you progressing this season, but man, if you ain't sending webs out to all different directions here, connections for season 3, more for influence, and it just the continuity is so good here. And I think that not just with the writing, but I think there has to be sort of a think tank that makes some of these ideas come together and then pen on paper, and then we get this type of product. And I'm a huge fan just at this point of this episode of just how good things are done.
It's a lot of trimming the fat in this episode. There's a lot of moments that we just like, okay, how long are they going to play out this Mecca needing to meet Zeke? And they like, nope, we're going to give it to you right up front.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're going to lay that on the line immediately. Then it's like, well, how will Monet respond? Is she going to tell Zeke? Nope, she's going to keep on line, and we're going to show you keep on line. It was like, okay, we're going to give you everything, but yet and still throw enough things out there that leaves you utterly confused in a good way of exactly what's going to happen next. That's what great writing is. It sets up the characters to go in directions that you may not foresee happening.
Yeah.
And that's what it does in this episode, because no one saw Drew at the end of this episode. Man,
everybody's predicting Kane as usual.
Even though she laid the groundwork for that to actually be his response, you just don't think about it like, nah, he would never do that.
Yeah.
But clearly, because of the position he's attempting to take over, she lays the groundwork like, okay, you know, we set it up with him doing that with his dad. We set him up. Is he getting closer with his father? His father puts the thought in his head, and he's like, huh.
And it just more or less affirms that he is the number one person. Yes. We again exploited the other two's weakness. Diana came straight to Tariq's room and said, I wanted to be here with you. I would lie to my mom to be here with you. I got a good school that's dope, but I'd rather be here with you. I mean, she laid it all out. And then Kane, it was simply put, Kane, you put the badge inside of the drawer and you didn't think that was going to come back to you. And by the way, this meeting that you set up that you did, and you didn't want Drew to be there, and then your whole side hustle has been destroyed now because you thought you were ahead of this. Much like Mecca Larizzo told him last episode, you're not running things here. You're just you're just a soldier, as he said. You're just what did Drew call?
What would you say? You're just a pit bull with a new master. Like, that is a fucked up way to put it, but boy, is he right on the money about it. That is all you are. You're an attack dog.
Yeah, yes. That's it.
Go attack. But you couldn't think to save your life. And every move he made in this episode just shows the level of unpreparedness he has.
Yes.
To ever lead anything. Like, again, this season has done a great job of separating the kids.
Yeah.
Because beforehand in the first season, we all thought it would be Drew, even though Drew had his weaknesses, and unfortunately, a lot of people saw a weakness of Drew of something that shouldn't have been a weakness. In this season, they have pinpointed, let you know, not only is that not a weakness, his dad don't even care.
Yeah, it's not weakness, not a big deal. Nothing
nothing to think about. Because once you took away that out the equation, what weakness would Drew have?
Yeah,
he is still the most accurate shooter in a Power universe. Like, he's the way they're setting him up to become this monster that I think he's eventually going to become is great. But it's also, again, they showed Kane's weakness again. They're clearly like, even though we thought at one point Diana could be the one, boy, are they highlighting like she is. How are you? I don't even want to use the word, but how can you be whipped and you ain't even get it yet and you was whipped?
Hey man, she's just a young dumb girl in love. That's all it is. That's as far as we go in depth with that character right now. But it is important that Brayden definitely said he needed to protect his family and so on. Him and Tariq have this back and forth exchange. I mean, it's just the camaraderie between the two of them. But we didn't really get the response to Brayden to Tariq after he found out that he went back and told Tate anyway. He doesn't have the photo, but Tate does know the information. So we'll kind of see how that play out, which also may not be a big deal either.
But I do think that their conversation there was really great. Like you claim you don't want to be anything like your parents or your family, but the moment it is threatened, you go to protection mode. Not, hey, this is fucking horrible that he did this. I don't care if it comes out. He's like, no, I gotta protect my father.
Yeah.
Hey, that white privilege is a hell of a thing. And the moment it is threatened, you revert right back to what you know.
Yeah, those classroom scenes and those scenes with Brayden and Tariq are some of the best dialogue and thought-provoking scenes each and every episode. So Tariq finds out, speaking of classroom scene, that Lauren room was raided, and this significance of this now is because now we know that Lauren has been under what's the word I'm looking here? She's kind of been under the spotlight here, and why she didn't tell him? She figured she figured that everybody knew, and then we saw the kind of the boyfriend-girlfriend conflict of being seen on campus and so on. But there's a lot more to Lauren, which we'll get to in a second. Yeah. Paula, welcome back. Looking fantastic, by the way. I cannot think of her name right now, the actress name. Huge fan too of a lot of the different stuff that she's in. But seeing her back, I was wondering what was going to be her role here, but her role was...
And to bring it right back to the most important element of season 1, of her playing that tape for Tariq to let him know, hey, I have you on tape saying that you murdered your father. We can't use it because it was collected by Saxe illegally. and for her to be the element that could clearly get Tariq off of everything, and they like, we can't use her under any circumstance. That's a crazy setup right there to say, hey, we got you out, we just can't use your out. And the weird part is, it could be a way they could have used the out. All she had to do is say she was meeting with Tariq. How much? You don't have to go to exact detail. Come on now. It's enough lawyers to know. You only answer the question you're asked. You're not elaborating on anything. Did you meet Tariq? Yes. What did you meet Tariq for? Business.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sure, serum. I had to look it up real quick. But yeah, and also too, I mean, my answer is not as sophisticated as yours because I know you got my back, but like her also being Davis's weakness here, and also can exploit him for a bunch of different things. But it seems like everybody got something on him, which I cannot wait. I can't wait to bring up a point here because I think there's something else that we might have missed. I know I got questions, but we'll see what happens here on the show tonight. But yeah, so that's that. Put your ring back on, by the way. But at this point now is when Tariq and Saxe and Davis are all in the office. They're moving these scenes by really good. Like, that's what I'm saying. They really pile things on. But this is when Saxe decides to lie to Tariq for whatever reason, because he's still, I mean, it's very clear that he is still out for Tariq in the St. Patrick's.
He does not. He hates him just enough to, like, even when he says, "This is the first time I think he's innocent," and then when the next scene's down the line, he like, "You already know how I feel about him."
Yeah, and it is important that Saxe just wants to get him. That's his goal. That's his obsession. Heard it from Shane's mouth in the interview himself that's his obsession. He wants to get him. It ain't sort of a want to kill him or it ain't anything of that sort. He wants by law to get him and their family. That's his goal. So by him even getting a deal is a win to him too, which if Tariq is aware of this, that means anything that Saxe has for you that Davis isn't around for, which is the biggest indication. Whereas Davis and also Tamika too, which kind of got to go by the wayside with her. I mean, she's been more loyal, way more loyal than Saxe, but like Jenny and then Saxe and them all bombarding you without Davis, who you're paying.
Hey, I was almost expecting Tariq to say, "Hello, where's Davis?" Because how are you all in here without him?
definitely fishy. But this is when he brings up that Lauren was seen in Jenny's office, and he's pretty sure sees a prosecution witness. And we're going to see how that plays out, because that's also not just a done deal, if you ask me. I think
not at all.
The more and more we're seeing Lauren develop now, because Lauren's starting to is starting to wisen up now. She's aware of the things around her.
Eyes wide open now. She is no longer in the dark about anything.
Absolutely. Still wondering where her parents is going to intervene. Her parents wasn't even at the dinner, were they?
They didn't show them. I think they may have, but they just didn't show them.
They should be there. But yeah
they wanted to focus strictly on the horrible idea to have Curry speak at that. Now with all those rumors going around, you know, it just wasn't a smart idea. It was a smart move at first to say,
great for television.
We're just gonna have to sit you down here because you can't go up there.
Yeah, great.
And then my girl, the other classmate, listen.
Yeah,
with the Jones out,
Rashana. I think there's like an extra syllable in there.
Look here, keeping the shade alive and well, all the way down to Curry trying to give a speech.
Hey, listen. I don't know where I'm gonna say this at in the review tonight, but let me tell you, if you're not on those Twitter Spaces, it goes down just like that. The drama, the tea being spilled is just like I went down. When
they was like, we're gonna do a club.
One of the they're basically same thing. But yeah, definitely listening in. Like, oh man, they dead to rights here. But you know, I think it's really important again that Carrie is so wide focused on Tariq. It's not even about protecting Zeke because she has no communication with him and he's way off the picture. It's not even about clearing her name. It's clearly just being more obsessed with Tariq, pinning Tariq down than her own well-being, not worrying about Kevin Whitman or anything. So to me, this is why she's so silly in all the stuff that she's doing. By the way, I hate to even say this, but I love her accent, and I love that it slipped up in one of the scenes here because just for the record. But it's just to understand the psychology of that character. She is going to make a lot more dumb decisions because she is like a horse with a blinder, and she only sees Tariq in front of her. So that's why
she still makes the mistake of seeing Tariq as her way out.
Probably, but
because if everything can be blamed on Tariq, everything around her stops moving. Because clearly we see with Whitman, he ain't giving up that Curry has something to do with this.
Not at all.
He's still trying to connect Zeke and his family to this, which will bring it right back to Carrie. And her thing is, if it's Tariq, all of this goes away.
Yeah.
But again, it's something highly important that we are still waiting for the big reveal to happen.
Yeah.
And that's going to be that manuscript that Tariq wrote.
Yeah.
That they're trying to use against him.
I got to say right now, Carrie and Kane are floating near the very bottom of intelligence. And I love the big reveal at the end. I mean, it's not even a reveal. It was just the revelation that we couldn't wait for them to expose, but we'll get to that. Speaking of Kevin Whitman decides to go to Everett room to do some questioning at his door at night. Sir, you can request that person come to your office or come during the day. What is up with Kevin?
Can we ask another question?
Yeah.
I understand he is a police officer. It still shouldn't be that easy for him to access the campus at night. Like, we gotta have a discussion here. How easily they access this campus?
I might need to go to St. John's too.
Hey, a campus advisor would have had to come with him. They're like, oh, you can go to the dorm, but clearly you're gonna go with us too, because you are not just walking up here on this campus like this, not at night.
Yeah.
And then they do the little pinpoint to the shoes. Like, is he supposed to think it's another person, or nigga, they tennis shoes?
Yeah,
he's a junkie kid.
That was absolutely an irrelevant scene there. I mean, I guess it was just for us to know that Kevin is still alive, but that scene did absolutely nothing.
The relevance to me of the whole scene, not just to him seeing the shoes, the relevance of that whole scene.
It's saying that the campus is still hot. which we all know.
It was the trust with Drew. Because Everett was still nervous, and Drew ain't crazy. Drew can put two and two together, like when Drew said, it's not going to be the last time. I think that plays a part when Lorenzo telling him later on about it, like, can you trust him? Are you sure about this? I think all of that played into Drew's mindset. Because at that point, Drew could be thinking, you seemed awfully nervous in it this time. What's the chance that you're just going to break?
Fair point.
I can't have that happen.
Fair point. See,
I think it was more setting up Drew than anything to do with Whitman. It lets you know that Whitman is still trying to piece together that Zeke has something to do with this and Carrie's involved in it. Yeah. But it just also pinpoints that Drew, in the end, how much can you actually trust Everett?
Yeah. No, good point. Yes, again, that's why we're taking. So anyway, this is, where Dante Spears meets his boy, talking to his boy out there, balling out there. He just trying to focus on his form, but he let him know he's a father. But it is important, they say, you should ask your mother. And that is that for now. We'll get to more of that on a little bit. This is where
jump right into that right away, because I just need to have a conversation real quick.
I mean, we can bunch it all. We can bunch it out. Look, here's my assessment of this. So this now starts turning the gears for Zeke. He obviously reaches out to Diana. That's a safe spot, which I get that. Which Diana now knows that there's somebody out there claiming to be his dad. It also, on the other end of that, why Mecca said that, hey, you broke the deal that we had, so he took matters in his own hand, and all the stuff that Monet said, but which I will go over that in a second again. But now Zeke wants to meet his mother, and he was going to pack up. He already missed his
That's
time
what I want to talk about.
Cell phones.
Thank God. I knew I would know what he was thinking that, like, can't you just call and get, like, we can start this conversation on the phone. I ain't got to pack up and go all the way back down south.
They're going to roast Zeke for about a week now. Poor Zeke, all because he didn't want. I got to go see my mama. But hey, Monet did not. I mean, she lied to him, and she didn't keep it 100. She said she loved him a lot. She told Mecca that she loved him more than anything. Don't mess this up, and so on. Mecca did say that was what your retirement plan, which is true. Got her dead to rights. But he still doesn't know the truth. So Zeke is still very curious now as to his biological parents, who's this guy that's walking around saying that this light-skinned guy who's going around, real light-skinned guy. Going around saying he's my father, but so he needs to go ask some questions for his mother. But she did say that your father was in jail for life, and she didn't feel like he needed to know. So lies on lies. And again, I think, as Courtney had said on one of her lies, like, a lot of this is stuff that she's familiar with within her family. So it's real.
Of course. Yeah.
It has a little bit of an influence from, I said influence tonight, has a little bit of influence for someone's personal life. So while this may sound a little bit bizarre to some people who may not be accustomed to hearing stuff like this.
Seriously, who the hell does this sound bizarre to? If you ain't in a real black family and you don't think it's a bunch of hidden kids out there that don't nobody know about, or that somebody had a baby and they've been raised by somebody else, and you think that's your mama, but that's not your mama, that's your aunt. Yeah. We see this in every other black movie. It ain't in every other black movie because this is not a real life situation. It is because this is one. This is normally a situation where someone has a baby young, and the family takes that baby. Yeah. And once that family raises that baby don't know you as their parent anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very important conversation between Dante and Monet when she says, I was a kid, I was 16. And for him to reverse it and say, you held this from me. Like, you made the decision without me to do this. Mm-hmm. I was a kid. And she like, you went away. He like, no, I went to jail. Then I went to the military because I didn't think I had anything to stay for. That's entirely right. Because that would mean, and again, it's just possibly me overthinking. When he went to jail, she was pregnant. So she had to leave completely and probably go down south for all of these months and cut communication off with him. So at that point, what else would he have thought? Like, the girl I love is gone. I can't reach her under any circumstance. Yeah. I might as well go to the military and try to do something.
And look, also just think about what him being at 16, what a different time and generation it was.
Yeah,
The yellow book, the yellow pages, you're not just picking up cell phones. I guess Zeke thinks he's in that era too, but like, yeah, it's all true. To me, this part of the story is very, very familiar, and like, it's cool. Like, that's why, like, when these events and stuff are rolling out, that's why I hate the online predicting, because like, while there is a lot of like this story being told before, just let it play out, because they're going to tell this in a way that makes sense to what they're trying to tell with the story, instead of people trying to pull from all these other different things. This is someone else's story or testimony that is involved in one of these writers' room that is putting this down block by block. And like, I don't think people could come in and when I say by predicting, that's fine and all, because I think that's part of the whole power universe. But I mean, the whole like idea, like, that don't make sense because that person's this age and this person's that age, and how can that all happen? This is definitely like let this play out. Let's see how this plays out.
I must say, because you don't know how this is going to play out until we get there. Like,
exactly.
I know because I have the urge to do it too. I'm still trying to figure out. Wait a minute, I've decided to give up on these kids' ages. I don't care at all.
Yeah, it's not important,
because once it plays out, we don't know who's involved in what, how much they know, what necessarily happened between each of these characters. Like, none of that is being told to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's for a reason it's not being told to you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, while Diana was talking to Monet here, Go Red Storm, she definitely a character, and it's like, I'm not
carried the shit out of her.
Just
you thought I was gonna let you go up there with nope. Go Red Storm.
This is quickly when Carrie and Tate had that thing about going to the party. Tate didn't get an invite for whatever reason. Professor Tate, shall I add, because that's what he's being called now. But Carrie was about to not go to the party, but Tate stood up for her and got a +1, which we know that, Tate gave some type of motivation speech to her, which sound really good, but I don't see how it actually applied to anything that she's going through. Kind of was like, oh, Tate was definitely on one of those. He just wanted to hear himself talk, and why it did probably have some relevance to somebody else's life, definitely not Carrie's.
Hey, that's one of them. Keep your head up, young brother.
Yeah.
You're like, nigga, that has nothing to do with what I'm going through right now.
Yeah, you could turn this around. Turn what around? Everything you've done is there, and there's no getting out of this. Like, that's just that.
She didn't fuck the student. She didn't fuck the teacher. She like that. Nope. There's no. You can't. You know what? You can't turn around. Any of them bodies that you got.
Not
they
at
go
all.
Be there.
Not at all. But Tamika Washington back, as I said, and she started to show Tariq all the bodies that her dad and Uncle Tommy got. And she got Tariq to be honest, which is important. And then she started to talk about the deal for 5 years. And that's, obviously when Tariq starts to talk about his family and grandma and how to deal and
that's
street code.
I'm sorry.
And I was gonna say, and just street code, but about how like him snitching is not gonna make anything better, but also him snitching would make him like his dad, because his dad always looked out for himself. Very true. Excuse me, go back to our reviews 2 to 3 years ago where we kept saying that Ghost is the most selfish person, terrible dad, and everybody said, no, he always looked out for his family. Okay, so what, is Tariq wrong here? Because Tariq saw it and always said every decision that he made was for him, not Tasha, not Yaz, not the other daughter that no one even remembers anymore, and not Tariq. So
you talking about Raina,
yeah.
Who doesn't remember Raina?
Everybody. Only person we care for is Yaz. Speaking of Yaz keep getting ready to hit the stand, and I can't believe Jenny tried to come for her like that. First of all, Yaz with the freshest outfit of the episode here. That's our girl Yaz. Yaz till we die. Ride or die for Yaz.
Hey, all day, every day. We still waiting for Yaz's book.
That's right.
That's when we still waiting. And all we wanted to do on Yaz's book is her go to middle school.
Jenny better watch her back. Jenny better watch her back. Trying to play Yaz like that. Put her in the trick bag. We don't play for that. Just watch her.
We got to bring up one other thing too. I'm gonna need Tariq to do one thing. If he don't do nothing else for the remainder of this season, I'm gonna need him to stop telling people he killed people. Because boy, everybody he come up with, he just freely let that go. Hey, I had no choice. It's like, if you want to see the difference between him and his dad, no one would have known Ghost got that body. Tariq is willing to tell the world, like, hey, I had no choice. You don't know if any of these people are bugged. You don't know any of this stuff. You freely telling people you killed the professor. Like, come on. Hey, we got to pinpoint that down, brother. Hey, even your mama would have stood 10 toes down. No one would have known that.
Damn right.
People still trying to find out who killed Lakeisha.
Yep, that's right. That is right. So the Mecca and Larizzo meeting was next, and this was a big thing everybody was looking forward to. But hey, like you said, this wasn't like a big thing. It did have some big stuff come out of it, but it wasn't like we need 15 minutes of this. This was the meeting. The Battle of Monet actually wasn't even about that. It was about the product here. But Mecca told him, as you said, I give you all the product. I'll even give you soldiers. You can take over Queens. Do what you got to do. But I get an extra cut. And that handshake they had even felt a little bit unauthentic, but that's because Larizzo was in need of stuff, as we knew. That's why he's here. Mecca wasn't. That's why the handshake was I got what I need, you got what I need type of thing. It wasn't a truce. It was definitely like no, business is done here. But as I said, this now messes up the side hustle for Kane and Monet needing the extra money for lawyer stuff. Knowing and again, this is, Kane, sir. I know you mad at Drew here, but you kind of got yourself in his own situation here, and it didn't even matter what side of your trainers you were on. This meeting was only going to go one way.
Yes.
and you for a reason, I don't know why. As a matter of fact, when you know what? I gotta watch this back. I wonder when Mecca said I have soldiers. Did he ever look at Kane when he said that?
Nope, he did not. Not at all. He did not look at Kane at all.
Well, then.
Kane is not his soldier.
Well, then.
Free agent. It's being played this way because I think Mecca is more thinking, need to fuck with Monet here. Like, your whole family still. Remember, he's told her, you could go away with me and I'll take care of your whole family. Guess what? You ain't got to go away with me. And I'm still taking care of your whole family because all of them work for me. Larizzo, again, is so stuck on controlling the streets. I think he's missing a bigger picture, which is, dude, you just had this guy basically tell you you can take over Queens with my army. So that means I took over Queens. Like, I run everything. You run absolutely nothing.
Everybody works for somebody.
Those soldiers you thought you was going to get, you just had his people kill them. What do you think the next step is here? Yeah. Larizzo it's setting up so far, and I'm not going to say that's going to be the direction it goes, but Larizzo is coming across as the ultimate middleman.
Okay, we'll see. I'll let that marinate for a little bit. We'll see. But this really quickly as we get to the party, this is where Tate has the exchange with Robert Weston, Braden's dad. And he said that I'm not fond of blackmail because he lets him know that there's going to be a leak coming out soon. You may have some involvement here, but I can protect you if we work together as long as we can sweeten you out. I don't like blackmail, and Tate hits him back with the guess you only like blackface. So there's that. And to me, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to uncover, but like I said, I want to focus on this because we see this is just the sprinkling of things to come for influence. The Sweetney versus Tate battle that Tate feels like, and this is also another thing true to Tate's character. He always gets overzealous over the idea of him being right, content, and have been successful, just to get knocked down and back on his brother
Always
Lamar's
happens.
couch.
Always happens, just
very, very, very much on par. But as you said, Carrie goes up there to make her speech, and this is finally Carrie starting to get hers because I'm looking to see the demise of Carrie because she is just the female Kane at this point. The female Kane and Saxe mixed.
Yeah. And by the end of the episode, we really see that female Saxe element come out as Davis puts her in her place.
Yep. But goddamn, like again, that whole Tate motivation speech afterwards when she's in her office crying did nothing. Now, Tariq, it just really, it just didn't make any sense. But Tariq and Diana have sex. It happened. She came over there looking for a bunch of reasons to invite herself into the dorm room at night.
Clearly, I
love it.
What was her real purpose to go over there? I just need one person to let me know.
Get them cheeks smacked. That's it.
What was her
purpose? Cheeks smacked.
Do you know anybody that Monet worked with by the name? You could have asked him that on the text message. So what was your purpose of going over there?
But yeah, I mean,
that's all you can do.
And Tariq says you can consent. consent and your mom can never know. So we'll see what that plays about, because those are consent is a very understandable thing, but your mother may never know. I don't know. What is it? It's got to be something in the past there. So for whatever reason that it is that he didn't want Monet to know, then I guess we'll find out. But I'm sure you all, there's some ties to a previous episode that's something I'm not grasping into right now. Ultimately, maybe because him and Monet are just not on good terms, he didn't want to know that. Which I think is the least of her issues right now. But hey,
yeah,
she definitely don't care about Diana. She choked her out. She don't care about her.
She don't give a goddamn about Diana. You can tell when she walked in the kitchen. Oh, little girl. Like,
hey, that mom beef can last like 2 to 3 years.
Especially mom and daughter beef. That's forever beef right there. That's worse than Biggie and Tupac.
Oh man. But yeah, this is now Kane and Drew getting to the fight in the house here. And Drew asked him, you think that everybody can't tie back that? How did that badge get in Tariq's room? Duh. Glad you brought it up. Welcome to the party, because we've been saying this, and hopefully if Drew can find out, I don't know, I guess Davis still knows now, but could anybody else in that courtroom have figured this out now? Like,
clearly Davis figured out at the beginning of the episode when he says, hey, we clearly see that ain't you. We just need to know who it is.
Yeah, exactly. But Kane, here's the thing. So after we already talked about what Drew said to him, and they get into a fight and whatnot. It is important that Kane brings up Everett, and then this is when Larizzo says about, is he going to be a problem? Well, as we said earlier, no loose ends, and the first thing you think is Everett could potentially be a loose end, which we see happens here. I'm sorry, there's a bigger loose end in that room right now, and he's a loose cannon as well. How about your own son, Kane?
The biggest.
The badge being tied to him brings complete heat to your entire family. And just like when they said, like, well, couldn't it be this guy, Lorenzo Tejada Jr., who his father is serving a bid right now? You don't think it's going to work the other way? We're going to say, like, oh, well, what is his father up to? Let's keep them under scrutiny right now. Keep them under the public shadow because of everything that's happening. I mean, just like how they treat Tariq, they still got him because of all the things his dad did. So
exactly.
so we'll see.
So the bigger question is, do you think what do you think going to happen if Lorenzo ever sees Kane as a loose end?
Oh, he has to take him out. He has to live by his own code. He has to. And that is going to be questioned to see where does he leave the rest of the family after that. So we'll see. Again, this is where Yaz is brought into a little mock trial to see could she stand trial. She does a really good job, but then Jenny comes in there and just F Jenny because of this, because I'm team Yaz all the way. But it is interesting that Saxe, I mean, at this point now, we just all know how Saxe feel. He's just obsessed, and we're seeing it more and more and more. Then we're starting to get to the end of the episode here. Drew looks in the glove box, and it looks like he was going to take out Everett, but Everett sends him he misses him, and Drew snaps back to reality. So we're going to see a conflict about the family versus love, and this is just a sprinkle of it. But hey, like you said, this is where we start to see the turn of who Drew is really going to be. And I'm excited for that. I'm absolutely excited for that. Now, Davis gets held at gunpoint inside of his Bentley truck because my man is just got all the money now. I don't even know what he was driving before. I think he was just Ubering everywhere, but who knows? And the only thing that matters here is, like I said, that he said, helping him helps you. And Kane had I think a good response saying that sounds good all right now, but we'll see. But skirt. All right, tell your mama I said hi, Kane.
Look here. Davis, the fucked up part is Davis kind of questioned who it was, who could have planted it, and all you did was give him exactly who it is. Like, you literally did the one thing you weren't supposed to do. He had to ask Tariq, who is this person if it's not you? So he didn't know who it was. And then you hold him at gunpoint. And he's like, Kane. Yeah. So I know you. So now I know you planted it.
Yeah. And hey, he didn't give you up. that should have been step one to saying, all right, let me back up off of this. And then once he says, as long as the money is rolling in, I ain't saying anything, then cool. That's that. And so be gone. But he gets out and gives him a farewell right by the driver's seat. He's like, bye, have a good day. Have a good day, Mr. Davis. All right, tell your mama say hi, son.
Now the question is, if this ever gets back to Monet, what do you think her response is going to be?
Monet? What if it gets to Larizzo?
Oh no, if it gets to Lorenzo, he's going to kill Kane.
Even Mecca, this is a problem for. This is a problem for everybody.
For everybody involved.
Everybody.
Because you were so you were so gung ho on getting Tariq. You set yourself up.
Loose fucking end. But yeah. So in the episode, we got to see the big thing everybody was focusing on in the trailer, and there's some people with some heavy artillery, and that's just Kane, Mecca's people just taking over territory as they look to expand in Queens. So you know, from the beginning of the episode to the end, it's just where we're seeing them moving. So
yeah,
nothing but some bullets flying and whatnot. But we just see that he has some high level military weaponry.
Hey, look here. I remember, I'm going back to the first episode where they showed him just running the streets, and we were like, how is he taking over? He has no army.
Oh, we know now. There's some dirty people. Dirty people. There is some dirty people in the military. I guarantee we're going to find out.
And where did he come from?
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's going to play a very big part.
Listen.
In how he became who he is.
Narcos. It's setting right up, and this is cool because you can go to Mexico, you can go down to South America, you can do some things with these future shows. Like to this point, we got to keep Mecca alive because the Mecca story is more compelling to me than anything right now. So I want to know more about my man Paz, which you know we got a lot of it this one. So we'll see. But Tariq, this is when he gets bombarded, and this is him getting the 5-year deal if he lets them know who's Ramirez's killer is, and he says he's no snitch. It makes him no better than his dad, and it won't make anybody safe, his grandma's his sister, anybody. And Saxe did all this behind Davis' back, as we said, and at this point now, Davis is gonna have to get this man out of here. I mean, Saxe stuff has his resources, but this is a liability. He's siding behind your back with their I guess let's just say his girl Jenny, who's sleeping with, which I don't think Davis knows yet, but when he does,
no, I think he knows that Jenny and Saxe are sleeping together.
Oh, there's a lot of people sleeping with each other.
I think that's why this trial for Tariq will be the most interesting trial in Powers Universe, because we understand how cutthroat Davis is.
Yeah.
Do you not think he's going to use that against her?
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that they should do this for episode 1 of season 3. Do not put this trial towards the end of this season.
I think they're going to do it because I don't think they're going to dwell on it. I think it's going to be a very quick trial.
I think so too, but I think it should still be in the beginning, much like they did with Tasha in the beginning of season 1.
But do you think that they would want to do it at the end of the season because they don't want this hanging over season 3? Because I think by season 3 it's gonna be a completely different storyline for season 3.
Sure, it's true.
So I think they're gonna say let's get this out the way. Because all of this framing Tariq we can't let this drag on, because then it becomes when Ghost was in jail and he was up for trial. Like, nah, we're going to get this over with this season.
Yeah.
Because the moment it comes out about the manuscript, that takes away any reason for Tariq to do anything.
Yeah.
Because he wrote the manuscript.
And it's true that people know. The Westons talked about it, so it's clear people know, but they don't know who did it. So that's going to spark a lot. All those people that was inside of that little thing, gonna be a lot of people with power in there that's gonna have a lot to say about things that are happening here in terms of reputation of that school. If they can just take down Carrie and Jabari for all of this, and it keeps the prestige within that school, because that's gonna be the other thing. If you start getting these what do you call them, boosters, if you start getting these boosters to pull out and pull their students out, this is gonna be problematic for the school, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So eliminate the one is already done, but if they get this all on Carrie and said it was them and whatever their whole scandal they had together, and remove that instead of this being about the students, we'll see. But anyway, last thing of this episode is them finding out that Lauren Legal Castle was at the police station. Carrie Milgram. Glad they got to this. And it was interesting that they had to exchange, but it is interesting that that Davis said that you have slept with 4 people involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name who the 4 is?
It's Zeke, Jabari, I'm guessing Whitman.
Kevin Whitman.
So who the fuck is the 4th? Saxe?
Or is it him?
Yeah, it could be Davis.
And how big of an issue could that be for everything?
I don't think it's a big issue for Davis because I don't think he gives a fuck. He could care less.
Well,
Davis' biggest thing is, he said the biggest part of it, if Lauren is that witness, you put her on a stand, I'm going to rip her apart. Yep. And we see where her and Tariq stand right now. If he gets on that stand and rip Lauren apart, because keep in mind, we understand from the wire that she wore, she didn't get much information. So because she didn't get much information from that wire, what happens then when she gets on that stand? Yeah. When he brings up, like, did you do this because you got caught with drugs?
Yep.
Who pushed you to do this? Curry Milgram pushed you to do this. So did Curry push you to do this because she's sleeping with Zeke? She was sleeping with Jabari? Could it have been that this is the reason why he's dead? And then does that bring out Mecca to do whatever he can do to protect his son?
Yep. Tons of questions.
Oh God. Oh, it clicked. Did it click? Okay. I see how they're gonna sacrifice Cain. Oh my God.
Possibly.
They have no choice.
Yeah.
And they're literally setting it up for that to be the case.
Didn't they do that with somebody in the original Power series? Didn't somebody, I forget who it was. I gotta think about this now. Somebody who who they pinned it on, then they died, and then they was killed. So I gotta think about that. I know somebody's gonna talk. Let me know in the comments who this setup is.
I know
is
it seems obvious that they're gonna set up Cain, but then when you start thinking about it and piecing it together, because after it gets back, if Zeke's name get involved in this in any way, shape, form, or fashion, they're gonna put it back to the family, and they're gonna put it back on Cain.
Yeah. Oh wait, who did they say killed the cop that Tariq killed in Power?
Shucks. I forgot now. I don't know how I forgot who they pinned that murder on.
Yeah. Anyway, you folks let me know in the comments. 2 other things really quickly, and we're gonna wrap it up. I should have remembered that when Diana and Zeke had that conversation, and he brought up Dante was being the person name, and D, and now she's suspicious of who the D is in her mom's cell phone. So she's starting to put the pieces together. So that's gonna be her last hurrah into really letting her dad know everything that's going on, and that also serve a little bit of importance here. And then obviously we know that Cain told Tariq, the supply is gone, so you gotta figure out money another way. So let's see how Tariq gets creative to get more money, because he has to pay his lawyer as well too. So there is that. But
if Tariq gotta pay the lawyer, doesn't Cain gotta pay the lawyer?
No, I just don't have
as
it.
Monet said, if we can't continue this, we can't pay Davis.
He's so dumb. He made it seem like he was all good to go, but yet he still got in the same predicament. Where this is another indication for team up. But here he goes again. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight's episode. The trial is ahead. We're going to see some moving of territories, maybe the Mahoney people. We're going to see how this all plays out now that Tariq didn't take the deal. A lot to come. There's a price
on Jenny's head.
It is by us.
How dare you?
Yeah, touch it. Yes.
You know what? You can touch anybody else. We don't care. You could bring back Raina, don't touch Raina, but you don't mess with Chad. Yes,
at all.
In any way, shape,
warning,
form, or fashion.
Warning. Next time a red card, yellow card on this one. Next time a red card for all my soccer fans. But yeah, folks, let us know what you thought about tonight's episode. Give me a rating. What would you rate this out of 10 on this episode, folks? But you know the deal. We'll be back each and every week with more reviews from Power Book 2, Season 2, Ghost. Thank you for tuning in.